Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning. I'm the master taste of Whisky.com, and this is my son Ben. And today we have the second Laphroaig here on our cask, the Triple Wood. Not the triple cask, the Triple Wood. And this is an extension to the quarter cask we tasted just in front of this video. And what's the specialty of the Triple Wood? It's a quarter cask which was further finished in ex-sherry casks. So we have ex-bourbon cask maturation as always at Laphroaig, and then it is refilled into smaller quarter casks that are typical American ex-bourbon casks, where you take out half of the staves and build a small tube. And this small tube was perfect for transporting the whiskey on horseback or on a mule from those mostly illegal distilleries in the Highlands to the places where the whiskey was sold. And they had a good balance, so you had one quarter cask on each side of the horse, and it was well balanced for transportation. But those long pipe-shaped casks have more inner surface per liter content of the cask than the typical American ex-bourbon cask. So the maturation is faster in those long tube-shaped casks. And it's said is 30% faster or more wood, and therefore more transport of aromas into the whiskey.
That's what we pretty much saw with the quarter cask, that you have a very intense oak flavor in there. And now with the extension of the Oloroso sherry casks, or the European sherry casks, they don't say which
they don't say it, but I would suggest
European,
it's Oloroso.
It's gonna be it's going to be stronger, but probably more into the deeper tones, the heavier tones, and the more complex tones.
Yeah,
right?
They refill the small quarter casks. They contain about 100 to 120, 25 liters, and they refill them in those 500-liter butts. And then there's a finishing period of 6-9 months. So the transfer of aromas from the sherry cask is not that big, not that oak or tannins will be transferred, but most will the sherry influence, which we will see well in this whiskey. And I remember that this whiskey belongs to the top whiskeys I had in the last 25 years. So it's 5 years ago I last had this whiskey. But not that stinky.
It's definitely much less intense than the quarter cask, definitely.
Yes.
Oh, inside the glass it's more intense, so.
So this is the second sip we have of this whiskey, and now I feel this smoky chamber where you smoke ham or fish.
Yeah.
This smoke is here, and it's definitely those smoke chamber smoke I find. And well, very soon there's some sherry influence noticeably, and some vanilla shining through. So it's not that, say, stinky as a typical Laphroaig 10 years or Laphroaig quarter cask is.
I would still rate it as a very smoky whiskey, but although it's a bit less smoky, and there are definitely other flavors around the smoke. But let's stay at the smoke. It's definitely ash, phenolic, but it's still the smoke comes really through a bit more mature. Then the sherry influence is definitely there. You do smell a bit of sherry, but with the first sip I had much more less sherry, and there's a bit of a small hint of honey, vanilla, something sweet in there as well.
Yeah, there is a sweetness, more sweetness than the quarter cask had. And I say this is the sweetness from the sherry fruit. Yeah. And I think the the oakiness will appear quite soon after sipping. It's a wonderful mouthfeel. It's full covering the inside of my mouth. It's cladding on the inside. Mouth-watering. Second gulp. And yeah, there is some European oak, but not too intense. No, more of the sherry, more of the sweetness. It shows really long aftertaste. It's complexity. And probably a little bit of nuttiness from the sherry casks. Wow. This is full flavor from the start to the end and no bitterness at all. Really, really full and intense.
Wow, it's definitely intense whiskey. When you have it in your mouth, it's still a bit round, smooth, not that alcoholic. What you would expect from a 48% ABV. Then you do have a lot of smoke, phenolic. Just as you swallowed it, you get a lot of smoke, and there is a bit of a sweetness. Whereas the quarter cask was just fresh smoke, phenolic, bit of ash. You do have the same flavors in here, but a bit more mature with that ham flavor, that smoking chamber that you just smell. Oh, they had a bit of a sweet ham in there, maybe some plums in there as well, but still very gentle on the sweetness, a bit of bourbon flavors in there as well, but very round, very intense, and it stays in your mouth very, very long. It's usually the bottle is somewhere around 40, 42, 45 dollars, 42 euros, something like that. But it's for a non-age statement whiskey, it's really intense and really good.
Yeah. So I can definitely say it's still in my best whiskeys in the last 25 years. Still all that in it which I remember as really excellent in it. And this whiskey is younger, so there's no age statement on it, but it's good that it's younger. Otherwise, it would have lost its strength and impact and phenolic smokiness. The older the whiskey will become, the more those compounds will oxidize and will be more complex, but not that intense and attacking. So a really good one, highly recommended. And the price difference between the quarter cask and the triple wood is not that high. So it's 10%, 15% maximum. So I would always suggest to take the triple wood.
Yeah. The thing is, the whiskey is really nice for someone who loves Islay whiskey, who loves their whiskey peaty, peat smoky. And but one thing I would not suggest with this whiskey is give it to a beginner, because it's just too overwhelming. It's just intense, smoky. So everybody who is prepared for that and who loves that stuff, go all the way. Not for the beginners. Okay, you got something else?
No.
So thank you very much for watching. If you found this video entertaining, then please give us a thumbs up and see you next time.